أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات لأولي الألباب الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا وعلى جنوبهم ويتفكرون في خلق السماوات والأرض ربنا ما خلقت هذا باطلا سبحانك فقنا عذاب النار. ربنا إنك من تدخل النار فقد أخزيته وما للظالمين من أنصار. ربنا إننا سمعنا مناديا ينادي للإيمان أن آمنوا بربكم فآمنا. ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار. ربنا وآتنا ما وعدتنا على رسلك ولا تخزنا يوم القيامة إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. فاستجاب لهم ربهم أني لا أضيع عمل عامل منكم من ذكر أو أنثى بعضكم من بعض فالذين هاجروا وأخرجوا من ديارهم وأوذوا في سبيلي وقاتلوا لأكفرن عنهم سيئاتهم ولأدخلنهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار ثوابا من عند الله والله عنده حسن الثواب. لا يغرنك تقلب الذين كفروا في البلاد متاع قليل ثم مأواهم جهنم وبئس المهاد. لكن الذين اتقوا ربهم لهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها نزلا من عند الله وما عند الله خير للأبرار. وَإِنَّ مِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ لَمَنْ يُؤْمِنُ بِاللَّهِ وَمَا أُنْزِلَ إِلَيْكُمْ وَمَا أُنْزِلَ إِلَيْهِمْ خَاشِعِينَ لِلَّهِ لَا يَشْتَرُونَ بآيات الله ثمنا قليلا أولئك لهم أجرهم عند ربهم إن الله سريع الحساب يا أيها الذين آمنوا اصبروا وصابروا ورابطوا واتقوا الله لعلكم تفلحون صدق الله مولانا العظيم وبلغ رسوله النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.
Jazakallah, brother Faiz. Allah give you reward for this beautiful recitation and make your life beautiful. And all the listeners who listen to your recitation, Allah make their life beautiful as well.
Ameen.
And hereafter beautiful as well. So, inshallah, today we will be studying the last ruku of Surah Al Imran. And before we discuss this ruku, we would like to remind ourselves that what did we read in Surah Al Imran. So let's begin with the timeline. The timeline of that is, as we know, that after Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam immigrated from Mecca to Medina, the first year passed, the second year, the Battle of Uhud took place. Battle of Badr took place in the second of Hijri, and the third, it was the Battle of Uhud. And the revelation of Surah Al Imran is after the third Hijri. This is after the Battle of Uhud. So that's why we read that what the blessings Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had bestowed upon Muslims in the Battle of Badr, and what happened in the Battle of Uhud, that Allah had given them victory, but when they disobeyed or the misinterpreted the command of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam not to leave the pass which was behind in the Uhud, that's how their victory was changed into a defeat. And this name Imran is the name of the grandfather of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam. That's the nana of, so that's why the children of Imran or the Ali Imran was Bibi Maryam, and Isa alayhi salam was the grandson of Imran. So that's why this name come. And it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even praised that family. This is a very blessed family of Imran, because the wife of Imran, she had made an intention that if a son is born, I will dedicate it to the service of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But when the girl was born, which was Bibi Maryam, so she had said that a girl has been born, and girl is not same as a boy. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even before Bibi Maryam was born, she was expecting, and that's when she had made the intention. But when she was born, Bibi Maryam, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala still accepted that and accepted in the service of that. And Imran, the co-brother-in-law, because Imran's wife had a sister, and her husband was a prophet named Zakaria alayhi salam. So Imran was not a prophet, but a very pious person, and his co-brother-in-law, or in Urdu we call it Hamzul, he was a prophet, Zakaria alayhi salam. And we see that when Bibi Maryam was born, so still although she was a child, and it was a custom in the Bani Israel that they would dedicate a boy to the service of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they will let him serve, become a priest, and become a total, total dedicated to the service of religion. So when she wanted to make an intention, what happened? That people said that who will take care of this girl? Who will be? It would be unusual case. A girl will be coming to the service of the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So everybody said that there should be a teacher, a guide for him. So they said that everybody wanted to. It was a miraculous baby, so everybody wanted to become the guardian or the teacher of that. So Bibi Maryam's own uncle, or the Qalu, who was Zakaria alayhi salam, he was one of the people who would serve the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which was Baitul Maqdis, or the King Solomon's temple. So they say, okay, you want to teach the child, you want to take care of child, so let's have a draw. So what they did, all the priests, what they did, they went to a river bank, or the one of the brook that was flowing. So Hazrat Zakaria alayhi salam, he said that let's cast all of our pens, which was wooden pen at that time, and the pen that would flow against the flow of the water will take care of the child. So when all the priests threw the pen, they flew with where the water was flowing. But when Zakaria salam threw his pen, that flowed against the current and against the tide. So Zakaria salam was elected as the the guardian of the Bibi Maryam. And there was a chamber in the monastery of King Solomon's temple, or Baitul Maqdis, and Zakaria salam will lock that thing, the chamber of Bibi Maryam, and whenever he will come to the chamber of where Bibi Maryam will do the service to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meditate, and he will find the fresh fruit. And when he would find the fresh fruit, so he will ask Bibi Maryam, where did this fruit come from? So she will say that it is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when Zakaria salam saw this miracle, he had become very old, and he had given all the hopes of becoming a father. But when he saw this miracle, so he could see the miracle of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in all the closed doors. Allah can still provide this child with the fruits and the providence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he went to his house, and in where he used to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a righteous child, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave the glad tidings that you will be blessed with a child. And that was the prophecy, or the glad tidings given to Zakaria alayhi salam about his pious son, the prophet's son, Hazrat Yahya alayhi salam. So Yahya alayhi salam was born, and in the old age, when he had way past any age of becoming a father. So this is the whole the blessed family. Like one sister husband is a pious person, which is Imran, and another sister's husband is a prophet, and one sister's son is a prophet, Yahya alayhi salam, and another sister's daughter is a mother of a prophet, Bibi Maryam. So this is again a very blessed family, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has named the whole surah Ali Imran for them. And we also studied how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tested Bibi Maryam, because only Bibi Maryam was 16 years old or 17 years old, a teenage girl. So an angel appeared in her chamber and says that, I give you glad tidings of a son. So she became very scared and said that, how can I have a son? No man has ever touched me. So the angel said that, Jibreel alayhi salam said that Allah does what he wills, and gave her the glad tidings. And that's how Isa alayhi salam he blew some air into toward Bibi Maryam, and she became pregnant. And after that, Isa alayhi salam was born, and she was again tested again. She was told to do the Som of Maryam, or the fasting of Maryam. Fasting of Maryam is a person is forbidden to speak. So Bibi Maryam was forbidden to speak. And all the people started pointing finger. What did you do? How can you have a child? Nobody could understand this miracle. They thought that, you are from up, because she was from the Ali Imran. She was the daughter of Imran, which was very pious family. Why would you do something like that? None of your family members are like that. And she's not allowed to respond from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. She pointed to her newborn son, Isa alayhi salam, and Isa alayhi salam spoke right from the lap of his mother and testified for the chastity and piety of his mother. And Isa alayhi salam grew up, and so did Yahya alayhi salam grew up. And these are again from the same blessed family of Ali Imran. And then later on we studied about all the great favors Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had done in the battle of Badr. That how 313 strong army was able to defeat a much larger army of Quraysh, which was all equipped to the nail, and they were defeated. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had sent angels who defeated this large army of Quraysh. And when we heard another miracle through Quran, that when Quraysh was preparing this army of 1,000 strong march toward Badr, so some of the elders of Quraysh, they pointed out that if all of us march toward Badr, so what happened if some rival tribe attack us in our absence? And the rival was Banu Kanana. So Shaitan appeared in the form of chief of Banu Kanana, Saraha bin Malik, and he came and told Quraysh that don't worry, I'm the chief of Banu Kanana, and I rest assured that in your absence, if you march toward Badr, nobody will, my tribe will not attack you. And this was actually Shaitan, but he had taken that. But Saraha bin Malik, Shaitan, who was in the disguise of Saraha bin Malik, the chief of Kanana, he marched all the way toward Badr. And in Badr, he could see the angels descending at the battleground. And when Shaitan saw it, he ran away from the battlefield. So Quraysh elders, or the chieftains, they said, where are you going, Saraha bin Malik? You said that you will stay with us and fight with us. And Saraha said that, not Saraha, Shaitan said, who was in the disguise of Saraha, that I see something you cannot see. He could see that, so he ran the hell out of there. And that's how Shaitan. So that's what also mentioned in the Quran, that he saw something that chief of Quraysh could not see. And then it was after the battle of Uhud that whole Arabian Peninsula Muslims in a very high regard, that they were the one forced to be reckoned. Before that, it was a turning point, because before the Battle of Badr, Muslims were seen as a prosecuted community, a very poor community, a community of very the only protection they would have was the tribal affiliation they had. But that whole change after the Battle of Badr, Battle of Badr, some of the people in Mecca who had not who had seen that this glory of Islam after Battle of Badr, so they converted to Islam. But some of them, they hypocritically, they can see that now Muslims are a force to reckon with. So some of the hypocrites who were not true to their iman or to the word, but they came forward and so Abdullah bin Ubay, the chief of hypocrites, or Raisul Munafiqin, he came forward right after the Badr and told Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, I'm accepting Islam. But that was just not a true testimony of Shahada, but rather a hypocritic thing there. So, and now there's another incident of thing called mubahala that we hear, because this whole surah, we have different things in that. And Surah Al Imran, one of the main topic is also how should we dialogue with Ahlul Kitab. Who are Ahlul Kitab? What was their history? And the reason for that is, as I said, that after Battle of Uhud, a delegation from Najran, which is the south of Arabia, came. It was a very large delegation of 70 people, spearheaded by some of the priests. And they knew that a prophet had come, and they wanted to ask Nabi Muhammad questions, but they were not true Christians. They were like, to them, their priesthood was more important. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, again, in Surah Al Imran, again and again pointed out that they did not, the priesthood or the echelon of the Christian community or the priesthood, they did not divulge the true teachings to the general population. And again, even in the last book, we will see that attitude of the priest of Ahlul Kitab. So when they would not accept any of the miracles by Nabi Muhammad and all that, so Nabi Muhammad invited him for mubahala. Mubahala means that, Nabi Muhammad said that, okay, I bring my family and you bring, your family, and we will tell Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who is not telling the truth. Allah put, the wrath on them. So Nabi Muhammad did the mubahala. He asked Hazrat Ali, he asked Bibi Fatima, he asked Imam Hassan, Imam Hussein to accompany him. And when he was going, some other Sahabas, when Hazrat Abu Bakr saw that, Hazrat Umar Farooq saw that, they also joined, although they were the father-in-law. Nabi Muhammad had took his son-in-law, his daughter, and his grandson. But Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq was his family too, because he was married to Bibi Aisha, the daughter of, so he was father-in-law. And Nabi Muhammad was also married to Bibi Hafsa, the daughter of Umar Farooq. They also joined it, and they went to this place. This delegation from Najran had come, and they said that, we will do the mubahala. So the priest, he got scared and told his people, don't do mubahala. If you do the mubahala and wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala come to us, we will all turn into apes and monkeys. So he backed off. So this is called mubahala. So that was, the summary of Surah Al Imran in a nutshell, and that was the timeline of Surah Al Imran. So let's begin with this last ruku of that. So inshallah, this is wrapping up. Bismillah. Inna fi khalqis samawati wal ard wa ikhtilafil layli wan nahari la ayatin lillahi ulul albab. So those people who ponder about the creation of heavens and earth, and how the night changes into day and how the day changes into night, and for them, those people who ponder over it, these are signs for those people who have the wisdom. And this is a very important thing that, there are people who ponder about. So this fikr is also a very important. So people, this awliya karam, when they do the meditation, they do two kind of meditation. One is zikr. They say Allah, 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 or any other beautiful name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They recite Kalma Sharif. They recite, Duru Sharif, Allahul wa la quwwata illa billah. But there's another kind of meditation in this awliya karam. They tell their disciples to go wonder about a particular thing, about the heavens, about earth. How does the rain fall? In which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is inviting people to ponder over it. So in Quran, again and again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is inviting. There are signs for those people who ponder over it. So this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying. And those awliya karams who have pondered over the creation of heavens and earth. And they say that, one atheist person asked one of the waliullah that, what is the proof of that, of Mazallah, existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he invited that, you look at the heavens and the earth, and you see these satellites, these stars, these all the heavenly bodies, they are in the motion. And he said, because now the laws of physics are considerably a newer phenomena associated with laws of Newton. But even in the ancient days, people used to say that, no, nothing can move if you apply any force to it, and nothing can stop. So things are in the motion, will be in the motion until some other external forces stop it, or thing will the rest. So he says that all of them, these sees that, all the planets and everything are moving. So that means they are not self-propelled. So somebody must be moving them. And this power, that command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is that of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that, this is the one. And this is the one argument of that. But, when people ponder over the ayats of Quran, a new wisdom comes to them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them the hikmat Islamiyah, or the Islamic wisdom of that. And classic example of that is Sheikh Muhyiddin ibn Arabi. Sheikh Muhyiddin ibn Arabi, he says that if you want to ponder about Quran, listen to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's message about the Prophet and any wise people. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving some message about that Prophet and all that. And in solitude, go and ponder about it, and ponder about it. And a new light of wisdom will come to you. And this is the message of that. And this is how some people go on khalwat. Khalwat means solitude. Khalwat, why they do that? They do two kind of things. If they do zikr, that brings closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if they ponder over the ayats or the verses of Quran, that again give them a new wisdom. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is inviting you to wonder about who created heavens, look at the things around you in the nature. And for a Muslim, everything around us, the birds, the flowers, the beautiful birds, beautiful flowers, beautiful people, beautiful landscape, these are all the witness. I will recite Urdu verse of a poetry. This is हर सांस ये कहती है कि हम हैं तो खुदा भी है. That every breath of life testifies that this of the existence of God. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is inviting who said allazina yazkurullaha qiyaman wa qu'udan wa ala junubihim, and those people who are wondering about the greatness of Allah in all the states, whether they are standing up, they are sitting down, or they are they are lying on their bed. They keep thinking about the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this thing, I'll give you an example of Imam Abu Hanifa. That Imam Abu Hanifa, he was the one who would ponder about things. So after Isha Namaz, what happened, that all of his students were there, and they saw their master or their teacher after doing the Isha. He went to the bed, and his student, they were engaged in all the nafil ibadat. They were praying, they were doing the zikr, and so till the morning came, and Imam Hanifa, he got up and he started praying the sunnah. So his student, they thought that he was asleep. So he says, oh, you sheikh, I have not seen you making the wudu. He said that I was never asleep at night. And he told his student that all night they were doing the good things. They were doing the nafil namaz and all that. But what Imam Abu Hanifa was thinking, he was pondering that how to serve the deen, how about the greatness. So pondering on the deen is even a greater service than doing the ibadah. Both have the valid point, but Imam Abu Hanifa, he used to ponder, and he was so famous for his wisdom that the famous scientist Avicenna, who Western is called Avicenna, he says that Imam Abu Hanifa, instead of applying his mind on religion, if he would have applied the same mind in the science, there would have been a revolution in the science unknown in human history. So so philosophical was Imam Abu Hanifa's approach to the religion. So this all comes from the pondering about the ayats of Quran, about the ahadith of pondering about ahadith. And now it is followed by duas. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, first the pondering of that when you ponder over it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not created this heavens and earth for nothing. There's got to be a reason for that. And even the staunch atheist, the scientist, what's his name? The person who, one of the famous scientists, I forgot the name, the person who come up with the theory of relativity, I forgot his name, Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein, he was an atheist. And when he started studying the stars and planets, so even he could not help say that there's somebody who's running this whole show. This could not be the work of accidents and mishaps. There is a system in there and somebody's running that system. So there's our clear signs, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying, so subhanaka faqina azaban nar. So of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who has created everything in the universe. Just the galaxy that we live in is called Milky Way. And the Milky Way galaxy is so huge that there's an estimate that there are about 9 billion stars and planets right here in this our Milky Way. And our Milky Way is just a tiny galaxy in the whole universe. So it is followed by the word Subhanaka faqina azaban nar. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looking at heavens, looking at this galaxies, looking at this universe, you are such a great, as we can understand, so save us from the hellfire. But basically, save us. And Rabbana innaka min tadkhulun nara faqad aqizhum. That who are you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? You enter Jahannam, you have humiliated him. So just like, we see in the TV that one person is charged with some kind of crime and he's taken away. So he feels humiliated. He tried to hide his face. He tried to hide behind the camera and everything. So he's feeling humiliated. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching a dua that whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enter the eternal jail, which is Jahannam, there's no escape. There's life sentence for good. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying in dua saying that, this is a ultimate humiliation and Allah save us. And there's another beautiful dua. Rabbana innana sami'na munadin yunadi lil iman. Or our Lord, we heard somebody calling for the deen and we accepted the deen and we believe in what was Rabbana faghfir lana dhunubana wa kaffir anna sayyi'atina. So wa tawaffana ma'al abrar. So oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, save us, forgive us, and forgive our sins. And kaffir anna. Kaffir means take away, or put a distance between anna sayyi'atina, and take away our sins. And tawaffana means give us a death. Ma'al abrar, among the abrar means pious people. So give us the death among the pious people. So that's what we make dua, that we live with in the company of the good people, and when we passed away, we are surrounded by good people. And another dua is for Rabbana atina ma wa'addatana ala rasulika. So give us all that you has been promised through the prophets, and do not humiliate us. Just like in the previous ayat, we talk about humiliation, and do not humiliate us. So day of judgment would be a very dreadful day, because right now people are sometimes they can hide their sins, that they put up a face of a very pious person, but their intentions, their crimes are not known. But in the day of judgment, when people will be given their sheet of deeds, the good people will be given the sheet or amal lama in the right hand, and the another people who are the who have committed. So it will be a very humiliating moment for the people who are the left-handed, because all their sins will appear in the front of everybody, and it was ultimate humiliation for the people. Just like we see here when people are accused of crimes and they are tucked away to them. فَاسْتَجَابَ لَهُمْ رَبُّهُمْ, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept those people who do du'as like that. So these are the Quranic du'as. Quranic dua is a topic by itself, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying that I do not waste anybody's good deeds, and whether it's a man or a woman, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has equally given those people who have migrated for me, those people who have suffered because of me, and those people who have fought for me, and those people who have died for me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not waste any of their deeds. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will enter them into Jannatin tajri min tahtiha al-anhar, will enter them into the gardens from where the rivers will be flowing. And sawab means the reward, min indillah, and this will be the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wallahu indahu husnus sawab, that Allah is the one who's the one who gives the best of the rewards. So, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is another saying that in this worldly life, which is a few days life, like why I would say few days life, you will be pondering that how can this life is of few days. Like we live here a life of maybe 70 years, 80 years. In I think America, Canada, the average life is 80 years or something. And so how can, but in the day of judgment, this is the time that we can comprehend and all that. In the day of judgment, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks a person that how long did you live in this world, he will say, oh, maybe an evening or a morning. So that's how short his life will look in the day of judgment, because it will be eternal life. So this worldly life will look very short to them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling Muslims that do not be deceived by the life that you see some of the kafirs whose character is not good and all that. You see them on wandering in this world, enjoying good life, and but this is for the short while. This life is the life of deceit, that things do not appear as it. So this whole life is this delusion, and we wake up and find out the reality after we die. Hazrat Ali said that people live in ignorance, and when they realize the reality, it is too late. So this life we are indulged into earning money and all that. This is very deceiving life. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, do not be deceived by this life. Mata'un qalil summa ma'wahum jahannam bisal mihad. So this is the providence. This is the little enjoyment that they are enjoying. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mercy that and after that, for all the wrongdoers, their ultimate place of abode would be Jahannam. Ma'wahum Jahannam or Besal Mihad. Mihad, the literal meaning of Mihad means a bed or a place. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that eternal place, the Jahannam is a very bad place to live and a very bad bed. And in this ayat that follows, لكن الذين اتقوا ربهم لهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها نزلا من عند الله. And for the righteous people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has gardens of ni'mat and pleasures. They are waiting for them, and this is a very good reward for the righteous people. And inna min ahl al-kitabi. So there are people among the because the whole Surah Al-Imran was basically a dialogue, history of people of book. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that among people of book, among Jews and among Christians, there are some people who believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and among them there are the people who fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they do not sell the ayahs of Quran for a few price, a few dollars, or a few. Ulaika lahum ajruhum inda rabbihim inna Allaha sari'ul hisab. And what happened All these people, Ahl al-Kitab, they had the knowledge of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. They did recognize Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam just like they recognize their own sons. What stopped them from claiming Shahada? Right when Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was only 12 years old, and with his uncle Abu Talib, he went on trade journey. So he went by a monastery called, and there was a priest. His name was Bahira. He was able to recognize Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. What happened? That he sat in the shade of a tree, and Bahira, the priest, when he saw, so he immediately recognized that, and he told the uncle of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to save your nephew from the Bani Israel, otherwise they will try to harm him. So they had all the indication of that, and among 10 Ashra Mubashara, one of the blessed 10 people, Allah, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has given them the glad tidings that they will go to Jannah, and one of them was Talha bin Ubaidullah. Talha bin Ubaidullah was a cloth merchant, and he went to Syria, and he was trading. So one of the Christian priests came and says, "Has Ahmed arrived?" He had not heard the word Ahmed, so he said, "No, I do not know about that." And when he went back to Makkah, he realized that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has declared his prophethood, and his own father-in-law Abu Bakr Siddiq has accepted Islam. So that's when he realized the meaning of Ahmed, that Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is the same name as Ahmed, and he was the first to accept Islam. He was among the, after Abu Bakr, I think he was 7th or 8th person who had accepted Islam. So where did he heard from? From a Christian priest. And Maulana Abdul Qadir Siddiq Saheb in Tafseer-e-Siddiqui is describing those people who had, one of them was Ubay bin Ka'b. Ubay bin Ka'b was again a Jew, and when he heard that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had come to Medina, he had all the indication. So he came and accepted Islam. He became a Sahabi. He became the scribe of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and he became the Hafiz of Quran. So when Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam passed away, there were about 25 Hafiz among Muslims, and Ubay bin Ka'b was one of the scribes and one of the Hafiz of Quran, and he had the Mus'haf of his own, that he had described all the Quranic ayahs and made a Mus'haf of his own. So his background was Jew. He was Ahl al-Kitab. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning that among Ahl al-Kitab, they are the people who believe in the previous scriptures and also believe in Quran, because this is the prophet they had waited for. This is the scripture they had waited for. So they do not have, and they had all the indication. They could recognize the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam just like they could recognize their own son. And another example of that was Abdullah bin Salam, the chief rabbi of Jewish people in Medina. And he was a pious person to begin with. He was so respected in Medina, even before that, not only Jewish people, he was from Banu Qaynuqa, a tribe of Jews, that all the people, not only from his tribe, Banu Qaynuqa, but Banu Nazir and Banu Qarida, they will respect him. Also the Ansar, the tribe of Hazrat, and also will respect him, and all for his piety, for his truthfulness. And when Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam came, the news arrived from Quba that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam arrived in Quba and he's about to come to Medina. So he was on one of the treetops, and he was basically had a garden of, he was a farmer, a date farmer, and also a Jewish rabbi and a scholar. So he could see Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam coming, entering the Medina, and he did not have any hesitation in accepting Islam. So inshallah, I will leave it here, and if there's any questions about this ruku and also Surah Al Imran, I will welcome to answer that.